Roll it.
Oh, yeah. 4 pre-rolls today, starting with our sponsor, Tommy John. Thank you, Tommy John. Shop Tommy John's Labor Day sale happening right now and save 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/JRVP. 25% off for a limited time only at TommyJohn.com/JRVP. See site for details. Also want to say thank you to our sponsor, Babbel. Travel plans this summer? Learn to speak like a local with Babbel, because with Babbel, you can start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. Get started right now. 55% off your Babbel subscription for our listeners. Go to Babbel.com/JRVP. That's 55% off at Babbel.com/JRVP. Spelled BABBEL.com/JRVP. Rules and restrictions may apply. After you do that, step into a world of nonstop action on DraftKings Casino. Play the classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots. Enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Download the DraftKings Casino app now. You sign up with the promo code JRVP. The new customers get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more, only at DraftKings Casino with the promo code JRVP. And last but not least, I want to thank our partner, AG1. It's the daily foundational nutritional supplements that supports whole body health. Anthony loves it. So many vitamins, major benefits. Try AG1. Get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/JRVP. That's drinkag1.com/JRVP for pre-rolls. Just the start of a massive post-Labor Day episode, including an axe-wielding pilot, Anthony's back pain, and Halifax. All coming up in episode 217 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
The devil places a pillow for a drunken man to fall upon.
Ooh, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're back.
Took last week off. Seems like we didn't take off any time at all. Seems like we've been here the whole time.
I'm excited, football, only 2 days away. My life gets more complicated, I can't just go hanging out on the Sunset Strip with you all the time like you're always asking me to do, Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I won't have time.
I don't hang out on the Sunset Strip anymore. I'm on the road nonstop. My 2-week vacation is over. I am leaving today for New Orleans. New Orleans, Dallas, Austin. Very excited. Again, it's me 3-4 cities a weekend, every weekend through the end of the year. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped to get back to New Orleans. My first time in New Orleans sober. That I don't even know what to do. It's like, oh, we're gonna go to Igor's. Like, why are you going to Igor's now? No reason to go to Igor's.
Do your laundry.
I want to go. I would definitely want to go, and I'm going to eat at a bunch of restaurants. But I'm very excited, and then I'm excited to Dallas will be fun. 2 shows in Dallas and
Pascal's
3
Manale?
shows. Yeah, definitely Pascal's, definitely Commander's Palace, and then I don't know. Then we'll see. But I got people who make reservations for me now. I got the tour manager to do all that stuff.
Yeah, but do they know the best places in New Orleans?
Yes, they do. They are tied into a network. It's like they're like people from John Wick. They're like the homeless people in John Wick, tour managers. They know everything.
That jacket makes me look like you'd be one of the killers in John Wick or something.
Thank you. It's from Adidas.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, I like it. I was doing a lot of hoodies, and I was like, I need something to wear on airplanes. I need tour clothes. You know what I'm saying? I need something to wear when I'm not on stage. It's like comfy. I look cool.
Why can't you wear a hoodie on an airplane?
I could. I just have a lot of them.
You're anti-hoodie, I thought now.
No, I liked the.
Wasn't that a whole episode?
Years ago,
was like 3 months
when I
ago.
entered the world of the cardigan, I said cardigans are hoodies for adults. Doesn't mean you can't wear hoodies.
You kind of said that you can't wear hoodies anymore. You wouldn't.
Aaron, rule on this.
Pretty sure that is what you said.
That's not what I said. I'll call Billy. What time is it, Aaron? Is Billy still in his office?
It's just after 5.
He's probably, he usually doesn't leave till 5:30. He's probably packing up.
Yep.
Bring him up.
Whatever.
Bring.
He's not answering. He's not answering shit.
Whatever happened to like last, first one in the office, last one out? That's how fucking Tom Brady got it done. And yet Billy's always leaving before us when we're doing the night shift show.
The night shift show?
I'm just saying sometimes we tape later than others. This is one of those weeks. And he's gone. You go past his office and what do you see?
I can't do the subterfuge. We taped 2 episodes in a row. What we did 2 weeks ago, we had an episode.
Why?
And then right after that, we taped another one. We had a week off in between.
We put on new jackets. We put on new jackets.
No. We did put on new clothes. I turned my hat around. It's backwards. You'd have no idea if you watched this.
Why you look like
because I
don't know, someone from DuckTales
because
or
maybe something
like
happens.
one of the DuckTales' friends.
One of the DuckTales' friends is one of the best things you can be. Aaron, isn't that the hierarchy?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yes. I would rather be one of the DuckTales' friends than at the right hand of the Lord in heaven.
They're like, hey, Mac, you want to go over to the store?
Better to be a friend of DuckTales in hell than to serve in heaven. That's what Scrooge would say. On the regular. All the time. Listen, maybe something crazy happened. Maybe a terrorist attack happened. We were gone, and people were listening to us, looking for hope, looking for something, and we're just talking about.
It didn't happen.
We're just talking about my back problems.
It's over. How is your
I
back?
like to tell people it's much better. It was getting worse. I've had back problems my whole life. I do a lot of things for it, and it started to get like the hips were getting tight. Things were getting tight. Things were getting worse. Hold on. Sorry. Poor Liz has been stuck in an airport all day, trying to fly home to see her mom. It's supposed to leave at noon. It is 5:15, and she is not.
Yeah. What are you texting her? Be a professional. We're in the middle of a taping.
I'm recording my podcast, is what I said.
The Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP. Junior Vice President.
That puts meals on the table.
I said I'm recording my podcast, but if I had been flying, this would not have happened to me. That's what I said. This is your fault.
Why you got to be a dick?
This is your fault. You could have bought your way out of this. Oh, she got on the 10:23 flight. So
she's just gonna hang out at the airport for 4 or 5 hours. That seems terrible.
I mean, if she leaves now, sorry. Okay, you know what? So I've got to write her.
No, this is good podcasting. We've never had you interacting with Liz as a guy. It confused me because she came up on your phone as her full name. Yeah. You didn't want to just like shorten it to Liz.
Well, when I met her, when I got her number, it was as a photographer, and I was just like, oh, let me get your name, so I have it in there. It wasn't just like Liz. I wasn't just like girl. What's Emika's name in your phone?
Emika.
Just Emika.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
I've called a girl because I had 2 girls with the same name in my phone. Called the wrong one. Thankfully, got a voicemail. So I knew I had the wrong
That
one.
almost happened to me this month at work. In the NFL, do you know who Mike Florio is?
I've heard the name. If he walked in here, I wouldn't know.
He's my old boss. He runs Pro Football Talk, and he's on NBC. He's on Football Night in America. So, big spot in the industry. There's another Mike Florio that's inside our building. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but there can only be one Mike Florio. I'm just giving you time.
How does this help Liz? How does it help Liz?
Well, like, what does Liz need? Does Liz miss me, by the way? Like, when was the last time Liz saw me? It's been a while.
When am I seeing
Why
your
are
kids?
you trying to keep me apart?
Why am I trying to keep you apart? When am I seeing your kids? I got presents for your kids. I haven't seen the new home. I want to come there, give the kids the presents, see the look on their faces
That's
of
on
disappointment.
That's
that they
on
don't
you.
like
You're
them.
always the busy one.
Yeah, I'm around. I got
It's
2
time.
weeks.
Okay, it's
Let's
time.
go this weekend. I will drive down and we'll come hang out, play some pickleball. Listen, I've had back problems for a long time. It's gotten much worse in the past 6-7 months, and I'm surprised it didn't. Like during COVID, I was fine. I wasn't even working out that much. I just kept myself in good enough shape, and something like just tweaked off. And I went to a chiropractor, a very expensive chiropractor, who over 6 months, seeing him every week, made it worse. Just made it worse. And now I'm seeing a different specialist who's crazy. I talked to Gregg about it off camera. Once we went to dinner and told him how weird it was. You can't even describe what this chiropractor does to people without them being like, that's not a thing. It doesn't mean anything. I would tell you, like, the way he just like touches you and prods you and does things. There's no cracks. There's no snaps. It's just like, oh, this. And then I feel better. I've been to him like 3 or 4 times. I went to him this morning, and it is great. So I'm hoping that within the 2 weeks I don't have to get in a plane. Like, I'll see this guy, I'll feel better, and then I'll go and sit in a plane for 4 hours to go somewhere, and then I feel like bad again, and it gets worse throughout the week. But now I'm like, maybe I can just keep it good. Because in the past, sitting in this chair right now I'd be in pain the whole time. Just uncomfortable, sitting in a car seat, sitting in a plane seat, it's brutal. But I'm hoping I can get it done, that by the time I leave, tomorrow for New Orleans, my back will be fine. So I'm excited. And again, I would describe what this guy does more because I think he's a goddamn miracle worker, but no one believes me. The only people who believe me are the people who have gone to see this guy before. And I'm like, how do you explain it to people that like, we don't? You find someone who's so desperate that their back pain's so awful and they can't find anything. He's gotten like people that I know out of back surgery. Been like, no, do this, and then they're fine. It's a TB12 situation. It's a fucking TB12,
yeah,
guys.
But TB12 I don't put any faith into TB12. I'm putting faith into your guy. You said no one believes you.
No.
I believed you. You told me about it at Cantor's after Oppie, our guy, and I was just like, oh, that sounds cool. And you were like, everyone else just like doesn't believe me.
Yeah, like what? It's what?
And I was like, okay, yeah. I bought it.
It's great. I love this guy. He's weird. He talks to himself. He makes little marks on my body with like a wax pencil that stay there for like a week no matter how much I wash. But I like it, and I just want to not have pain. Having back pain is so awful. I don't know how Aaron does it. Aaron, you got to have back pain.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I've been,
and yet
I
you
work
guys
out
have
so
such
much,
sunny dispositions.
I exercise so much now to keep the back pain away that I'm like, once this guy cures me, I'm going to do whatever it is I have to do to never have back pain again. If I have to get jacked, I will do it. I don't want to get jacked. It's not fun. Lifting weights, they're heavy. But if I have to do it to keep my back from ever feeling this way again, I will do it. It sucks. It sucks and I hate it and it's bad. How are you doing?
Can't you get like a better plane situation? Like a seat that reclines more or something? I don't know.
Once I can recline the seat on the plane, I'm good. If I can just a little bit, it's when I'm just straight up that it hurts. And you get on the plane for half an hour, you're sitting like that, and then I can put it back and I'm okay.
I saw some picture Liz put out of your trip to Canada. It looked like a private plane to me.
It was. I took a private jet from Enoch to Winnipeg because it would have been like 8 hours of flying versus like 2 hours on the jet. I splurged. Again, I will pay for a private jet if it makes work easier.
And that shit reclined all the way. And you were using it.
They were laughing at me because I got in the plane. I immediately went to do it and just went straight back. And then Liz has never been on a private jet before. Liz and Kelly Ryan, my opener, never been on one before. And I'm like, oh, you're in for a treat. Let's do it. And I don't even care about the flight. It's the no TSA. You roll up to the airport. You get like right out. You go right to your plane and you get on. And when you're ready, they go. It's the best. But I only do it for work. And Liz takes a couple pictures that she likes and posts them online. And I post some of her pictures after every show, and she posts some. And then she went to the Comedy Store last night, and everyone's making fun of her at the Improv for like, oh, hey, how was the private jet? Like, we didn't think you were the kind of person who would post pictures of yourself on a private jet. And she's like, I'm not even in the photos. I'm like, that's what you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with jealousy. Jealousy and people mad at you about the environmental impact. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm never posting a selfie. We took pictures in front of the jet before we got on. No, we're not posting that. That's what little Bow Wow does, Aaron.
Yep.
That's little Bow Wow shit.
I think
he was faking it though.
He was faking it. Yes, that's why we all remember.
What is this? I don't know this story.
Little Bow Wow, a couple years ago,
got rid of the little.
Posted a picture of himself in front of the private jet, being like, off to do press for like this new TV show or whatever, and then literally. Like 20 minutes later, someone took a picture of him. He was sitting in coach on a commercial jet. And like, he just posted this in front of like an old picture of himself in front of a private. That's weird. But I don't want to flex, but it was a good picture. It's in black and white. You got to do it sometimes, guys. How am I going to get from in between Enoch to Winnipeg without a private jet? Aaron, can you think of a way? It's impossible.
Dog sled?
Not in August, bro. Trust me, I asked.
Yeah,
I asked about the dog sled. They said there's no snow on the ground. I said, what if we just give me more dogs? Can we get it done? How many dogs do we need to get me there? And they couldn't give me an answer, so I went the private jet. I don't say PJ. I don't do that. Someone say, "Oh, you're taking a PJ? Get the fuck out of my face. We're adults here."
That's a thing? I had never heard that.
Yeah, that's what my opener told me. People call it a PJ.
PJ.
But those
I've never.
Would
been
I
on
rather save the money and not do that? Yes. Sometimes you have to do it. It's not a perk. It is a cost of doing business on the road.
I had never been in first class until like a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Don't get used to it.
I know. Well, I have to go. I go back and forth because we got it put into our contracts over at the NFL. That when it's for work, we're in first class. So yeah, when we were coming back from the Super Bowl, and some management figures who have looked at us as little bitches over the years came by, and they're like side-eyeing us. One of them, this guy from Boston who I love, was just like, "How the fuck are you guys up here?" You know, walking by, and I was just like, how do I respond to that?
You got to start. You got to get the miles. You got to play the miles game so you can get upgraded. You got to get the credit card.
Doesn't really
that
happen. We barely travel for work. It's like three flights a year.
You got to watch Up in the Air, and you got to do everything Up in the Air says. You got to do whatever George Clooney says in Up in the Air. Am I right, Aaron?
Or you got to collect the little pudding, the pudding tops.
Did you?
Glove? You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
Have you ever been in a private jet, Aaron?
No.
Have you ever flown in first class?
For 20 minutes, I have flown in.
Wait, why 20
What
minutes?
happened? They caught you?
No, the end of an international flight, we had a very small layover, like 50 minutes. So they let us up front for the last 20 minutes.
That's
The
weird.
last so at the
Did
beginning
they
of the
think you were
flight
gonna
you were in
crash?
coach?
Yeah, but it was an A380, so Airbus A380, so it was a giant plane, giant seats already, but the reclining pods were in the front of the plane.
That sounds like what they would do if you were going to crash. It was like, hey, we're going down. We don't want to panic anyone, but if you want to sit in first class for 20 minutes before you go to hell.
I'd take it.
Yeah, I would too.
Great.
I always thought it'd be funny. You know how like they say first class is obviously in the front of the plane, but if you crash, front of the plane dies first. I want to create an airline. Maybe me and Elon can get together, put our big brains together, do anti-woke airlines where the first class is in the back of the jet. First class dies last on Elon Air.
Why are you getting Elon involved? Why not just do it yourself or do it with someone else? Johnny United.
Why am I getting Elon involved instead of Johnny Unitas?
Johnny United.
Johnny
the guy
United.
who owns United.
No, Johnny Unitas owned United, but he's been dead for quite some time. You should know football. You should know better. I want Elon because it's got to be anti-woke. All the flight attendants are going to be mad on my airline. That's a fact, Jack.
Yeah.
On my airline, first class dies last. Wouldn't you buy a ticket for that one?
Sure.
Well, are you worried?
I worked harder. I want to die last.
Are you worried at all that, coach, which still the majority of the customers won't be happy with this situation? Like, will buy your fewer tickets because you're kind of pointing out that you want them to die first.
Listen, as long as I die last, I don't give a fuck when they die. Okay? They can die right at the beginning.
But they won't buy
They
tickets.
can die in the middle. They're going to buy tickets. When they find out that this plane is anti-woke and then they get to die before first class, they're going to want to be a part of it. They're going to want to show off the bling. They're going to want to do Firefest, selfies, selfie sticks, etc. And now it's time for...
That's it?
What else do you want? I got 5 things out of it. That's way more than Aaron thought I'd get.
I was going to say that putting us up in the first class and making us get our connecting flight actually ended up biting us in the ass because that meant we got off a 12-hour flight immediately onto a 6-hour flight in a regular plane. And that sucks.
It does suck.
How long ago was
18
this,
hours.
Aaron? How long ago was this?
2015.
And you're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well, it was
I'm
the one
still
time.
sore from it.
It was the one time in first class. You know what this conversation has reminded me of a little bit though? It's just like, you're getting softer. You enjoy luxury. People getting used to PJs, getting used to first class and whatnot, and you even said it. You're like, oh, I worked harder. It's like, okay, you might have worked hard, but a lot of people in first class didn't work hard. It reminds me of something I noticed, and you can tell me if you disagree. In the time Emeka and the family was gone, I started taking walks, started listening to audiobooks, podcasts, started taking walks in the evening. Very old man thing to do. And you know what I noticed in my neighborhood? I moved. The neighborhood's a little nicer. nice houses, all this stuff. There's an epidemic of trampolines, in-ground trampolines and out-of-ground trampolines for the children to jump on of the rich and the famous. And
So
to me, this
kids-
is a sign.
You saying kids breaking into people's houses to use their trampolines? Or like
No.
going to their yard?
No, it's for the kids in that house. But I just was walking around, and trampolines are everywhere. There's different trampolines. There's kids bouncing on them. It's like a 13-year-old boy bouncing on the trampoline. And I just thought, like, is this a sign that we're sort of in decline? Like, as a society, like we've peaked, we're getting too fat and happy, and the whole thing, it's a bad sign that everyone's got a trampoline.
I think your rage against the trampoline is more of a sign of your sexual decline. That you're seeing kids jumping up and down and you're not feeling the way you used to feel, and it makes you a little mad. You're like, oh, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, while Aaron was on the worst plane ride of all time, Gregg would have been jumping up and down with those kids on the trampolines.
What does that have to do with?
And now it just makes you feel like you're not a part of the club, like you're on the outside looking in, like everyone's kissing except for you. Everyone's spinning the
What
bottle.
does that even have to do with
pairing
it?
off.
What does that have to do with it?
I
These
don't
kids
understand
are too
why.
young.
I'm touring around the country doing shows for hungry people.
Okay.
And that's made me soft. But you walking around looking at little kids jumping up and down while listening to audiobooks makes you a hard man. Makes you fucking unbeatable. Makes you Mr. T in his prime.
I mean, I am tough.
Aaron, do you think Gregg is Mr. T in his prime?
No.
Do you think Gregg, how long, if Mr. T in his prime fought Gregg right now, how long would Gregg last?
Oh, half a second?
Half a second.
For fucking ever. You think Mr. T...
You think forever.
Yeah. You think Mr.
You think you and Mr. T would build a home and live together and make your meals
I
and
would
just
win.
stay in the ring?
I would win.
And that the audience would be okay with that. The referee wouldn't stop that. You think the referee would be fine with that, something like that happening for that long?
You think Mr. T would have the stomach to even get around my neighborhood while listening to an audiobook, Truth and Beauty by Ann Patchett, a very touching memoir about a relationship with a friend that was complicated. She had cancer. Sometimes she wasn't a nice person, but sometimes she was. It's ups, it's downs, it's love, it's a relationship. Oh, by the way, there's trampolines. I'm making an observation. This world is going soft. Too many trampolines. Mr. T can't do that.
You know, I don't know about you, Aaron, but when Gregg talks like that, frankly, I pity the fool. And now it's time for...
Wait, I still want to know what in-ground trampolines are.
I think I saw an in-ground trampoline. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you mean. It's like you just bury the trampoline, so it looks like it's just ground,
right?
But it's bouncing.
Right. They landscape the yard in such a way that there's like instead of a pool there's a trampoline. You just walk right from the grass to the trampoline, but there's not a...
I think that's a safety cover, Gregg.
What are you talking about? They're bouncing up and down.
Wow.
It's an in-ground trampoline. I don't know why it's so hard.
There's some trampolines that aren't in-ground, but there's some that are in-ground. And
There's
when I
above
saw
ground.
the in-ground ones, I was like, this is too far. There's too much.
I think it's cool because I think there's bigger accidents because you're jumping up and down. You don't know where the trampoline stops and the grass begins. You hit like, oh, maybe this is springy and it's hard. And you break both your knees, and that's fun.
There's no way that trampoline gets used for more than 7 months. That everyone knows who's ever bought a trampoline. That's the maximum amount before the kid gets bored. It's like
how much of the stuff for your kids do you use year round?
It's like buying a dog and the kid stops taking care of it after 6 months. But at least the parents take care of it. In this case, you just have a fucking trampoline
By
for the next 10 years.
taking care of it, do you mean bouncing on it?
I mean, use it. It just gets used for 6 months, and then
do you
you're
think
like,
happens
oh yeah, remember when we got Johnny an in-ground trampoline? Oh, that was a waste of $7,000 or whatever that cost.
No kid would ever think it was a waste. Every kid would want an in-ground trampoline. If Aaron was like, in-ground trampoline, we have one outside, I would leave right now. I would leave right now and go jump on it. It's fun. It's mysterious. You could kill yourself. You could put things underneath it. You could bury things in there. Trampolines are cool. Trampolines are fun. They're good for you. Get your kids a trampoline and put it in the ground.
Damn.
Bury it. Aaron, how old's your daughter? 2?
2.5.
2.5. How old until you get her an in-ground trampoline?
I will say I've already thrown away a trampoline.
Just one of those
Just
little
to punish her?
small,
She
cheap-
wasn't. She didn't show appreciation.
She did get bored of it, as Greg said. So.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. All right. And now it's time for. Did we get any notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
It's like, you didn't finish your dinner? Just watch this trampoline go in the trash. It's gone.
I think it would be fun if you get an in-ground trampoline. You have it installed while your kids are at school. They come home, and then just chuck one of them out the window. You know what I mean? Just be like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." Chuck one out the window, and the other one's gonna scream. And then when they see the other one bounce up, they're gonna be like, "Oh, good one, Dad. We have an in-ground trampoline." That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Do we have any notes?
We got no notes this week, boys. No notes. We are clean. Clean and mean. Go see me on the road this weekend. New Orleans, still tickets available. Dallas, late show available. Austin, I believe there's some tickets available. Actually, Austin might be sold out, 3 shows, but there might be a few. And again, on this tour, if it says sold out, it'll say sold out for 6 months in some cases. There are like 20 tickets that I have that are there for me in case last minute someone's like, "Can I get tickets?" I always have them. And I release them sometimes an hour before the show. And they're great seats. They're great seats because they're like 4 people who would be my friends if I had them.
What about Shorp? Kevin Shorp? Is he going to come to the show in New Orleans?
I haven't heard from anyone. You know, people...
You could reach out.
Shorp reached out to me during COVID and in the lockdown phase. And I remember left a voicemail being like, "Hey, Anthony, it's Kevin."
Can you do a Kevin Shorp impression while you're doing?
I'm bad at it.
Hey, Anthony.
It's Kevin. No, that's terrible. That's bad. We all did a Kevin Shorp impression. It was a long time ago. Everyone who's listening to this episode knows what that's like. He called and was like, "Hey, I've got time off work, trying to call and catch up with everyone. Give me a call back." And it was during the time of lockdown where I was not talking to anybody, where I was just getting through it, and I'd never called him back, and I feel bad. So maybe I'll see him when I'm there, but I don't know of anyone who's coming to those shows. But they will be fun. They will be great. Come and see it. It's going to be awesome. Follow me on Instagram to see photos. Merch. We're going to have merch starting in New Orleans. Merch that's only at the shows. And I'm not bringing t-shirts. You scan the QR code with your phone. There's 3 different shirts. I had professionals do this. I worked real fucking hard to make them not embarrassing and have people fucking hate them and shit all over them. And you can have them sent to you. It's like whatever, the free shipping to your house. You ask, and I got high quality shirts. So come and get some.
Don't be so hard on our old shirts. I got to say, Emeka, for the first time, wore her white shirt with the meatballs on it.
Mm-hmm. Diner shirt.
The Diner JRVP shirt.
Liz wore that this weekend.
I mean, could you take your hands off her when she's wearing that shirt? It looked good.
I couldn't.
It looked good.
Merch is a process I do not enjoy. So yeah, I get it. It's cool. Come to the shows, get yourself some merch. Maybe you'll be able to get them online at some point. I want it to be a thing that only people get when they come to shows. But if we have leftovers, I'll put them on the website.
Hey, Anthony.
Get a QR code from someone who went to the show, and maybe you can get a shirt. But they're cool. The show is cool. Bones and all. Motherfucker. And that was Did We Get Any Notes? And now it's time for...
Oh, so ad copy. I was thrown because I didn't do the
It's different.
notes.
We mixed it up.
Edit it out, Aaron. Edit it out.
No way.
We never edit it out. Look, it's fall. It's the time you don't want your underwear getting stuck up the old butt.
Guys, it's back to school. You're meeting new people. Let's say if you got to take your pants off, you want your underwear to be fresh. There's nothing more embarrassing than pulling your pants down and having a bunch of little kids at a school be like, "Oh my God, look at the holes in his underwear." There's nothing more embarrassing. You want to have fresh. And listen, Tommy John, the beauty of it is you can get a bunch of pairs, get a bunch of fresh pairs. They're not expensive compared to the other leading brands, and they are great. I always have new ones. When I see a hole in a Tommy John, I toss them. And I got a new fresh set ready to go. Listen, guys, I love Tommy John underwear. I haven't worn non-Tommy John underwear in a long, long time, well before they were ever sponsors. and I want to keep them as sponsors. Everyone's leaving us because of the way I do these ads. Everyone's abandoning the podcast business.
It's not
I
true.
need to keep this one, if no one else. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing it for the pride of saying that I am in business with Tommy John. If you have never worn the underwear, wear the underwear. It's my underwear.
It's really nice.
It's so good.
I bought so many.
It's so comfy.
If you got your pants pulled down, you go to a new high school, they pull your pants down. That could be one of the most embarrassing moments of your life. But then in a flash, it flips because you're looking good. I don't care what you got going on down there. The Tommy John underwear, very flattering. It makes you look better. Suddenly, you can't keep those women off you. Or men, depending on what kind of Tommy John underwear you want to wear. They have dozens
It's
of...
like wearing a black belt karate costume for your dick.
With over 20 million pairs sold, thousands of 5-star reviews, guys across America. I think it is all just guys now that I think of it. Love their Tommy Johns because there's no flopping, sticking, or chafing. They don't have customers. They have fanatics.
You know, Liz steals my Tommy Johns all the time to wear to bed. Listen, get extra pairs because your girls are going to take them from you because that's what they do. All right, they get in there and they just start taking and they start taking and they start taking.
Okay.
And as soon as you show any weakness, they're just gone.
Okay.
They're just gone.
Okay, Anthony.
They find someone else.
We've talked about this. Okay. You're always covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free. Guarantee. Shop Tommy John's Labor Day sale. It's happening right now. Save 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/JRVP. 25% off everything. It's for a limited time only at TommyJohn.com/JRVP. See site for details. We want to keep this one.
I want to keep them so
we
bad.
Love it. We love it. We want to keep the next one too. And I'm going to keep it by nailing this pronunciation. Estás disfrutando de mi podcast? Thanks to Babbel. I know what that means. Do you?
Are you having fun doing the podcast?
I mean, it's about the podcast. I've been learning to speak Spanish with Babbel. You can too, because with Babbel, you can start speaking a language in just 3 weeks. I'm not the most natural language learner. I've tried. Like, the best way is if you're there. But if you're not there, Babbel is the best way to go. It's very intuitive. 1 in 5 Americans have said that they want to learn a new language on their bucket list, and yet we peak as children in terms of learning, and it's almost a little intimidating. And trying Babbel in these quick 10-minute lessons. Something about learning language is overwhelming for me, so to do it in these little 10-minute bursts where you focus for 10 minutes, and it's not just an app that's just playing some little game. You're listening, you're speaking in a new language. It's 10 minutes a day. You start stacking days. It's like going to training camp. You start out and you're not in great shape. Suddenly, 2-3 months in, you're speaking Spanish, you're speaking whatever language you want, because Babbel's got more languages than I would have possibly expected. A lot of languages. Spanish, German, Portuguese, Russian, Turkish, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Dutch, Polish, Italian, French. They don't tell us to list them all off. I just like to.
It's fun. It's easy. You can go. What I like about it, you can go back easily and just redo a lesson. You know, let's say you're doing it every other day, and you skip a day, and you want to go back and repeat lesson 6 before you move on to 7. It's easy to do, easy to reinforce the knowledge. It's great. Learn the second language. Learn it.
The thing that got me most was a studies, a few different universities, but Yale, Michigan State, that say doing Babbel for 15 hours is the equivalent of a full semester at college. Save your money. Use Babbel. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. You get 55% off your Babbel subscription only for our listeners. Babbel.com/JRVP. That's 55% off at Babbel.com/JRVP. BABBEL.com/JRVP. Rules and restrictions may apply.
You put the lime in the coconut. And that was
Ad copy.
Let's get to a little something I like to call Email Corner.
Email corner. Emails are a thing. Email corner. It's email corner.
Guys, emails, they're a thing. You might try to say they're not a thing, but they are, in fact, a thing. It's a fact. It's scientific. It's undisputed. A thing. We like to have our listeners send in emails to us. I go through them, Greg goes through them, Miss Kim goes through them, somebody goes through them, and we pick 3 to discuss. Remember, JRVP Junior Vice President at gmail.com. We got a mailbag coming up. We're going to be doing some extra episodes so that when I'm on the road or Greg's doing football stuff, we can still have episodes for you guys so you guys don't go hungry. So you guys don't wake up in the middle of the night freezing, wondering where mom and dad are. We don't want that to happen to you. JRVP Junior Vice President at gmail.com. Greg, what are our emails today?
The first one's from the Villain King. That's how he or she signed it. Really enjoyed all the Halifax love a few weeks back and all the facts about Explosion. He thinks you missed a perfect opportunity to drop, I got Halifax in Halifax. And I know you don't like suggestions or the listeners trying to be funny, but that actually sounds like something you would have said.
No, I do not make little puns like that. I saw a lot of people say just the Halifax because I said at the end facts. I went facts. What amazes me about that clip was I say at one point I say 1917 at the end of World War II. Obviously, I mean World War I. And the comments were overwhelmingly, World War II in 1917? You know what I meant. There are only 2 world wars. I mixed up 1 and 2. No one ever talks about 1 for a reason. Because 2 was way more fun. 2 was the sexy one. Steven Spielberg doesn't do movies about World War I. That's Sam Mendes. Steven Spielberg does movies about World War II. So yeah, I mixed it up. And then on the video, when we played it, I said, put a thing on the clip where when I say World War I, put up a thing that says he means World War II. I'm acknowledging it. Still, all the comments, World War I,
You did? You actually
marks.
Put that he means World War II?
Yes, I said put that on there.
It would have been funny if you edited it in 2. Just over.
I should have.
Yeah.
I thought maybe beat him over the head with a little more. People are so funny about... Like, I remember a woman once tweeted, she was like, if I need help, I'm a computer programmer. And if I need help, I used to go on Twitter and be like, how do I do this? And people wouldn't respond. But if I go on Twitter and I say, you know, the way to do this is, and then say it wrong, people will come and correct you. People just they don't want to help, they want to correct. You could have been like Anthony. World War I was from, and give me the dates. Let me know when Archduke Ferdinand was shot. Break it down for me. Difference between World War I and World War II. Tell me which one Wonder Woman took place during. That would be helpful to me instead of just telling me that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anytime I tweet out anything football fact related, and because it's Twitter, you know, you edit things out or simplify it. They're like, oh yeah, but there's the salary cap number is 4.5 in 2023. That's why they're doing that. It's like, I know all that. I chose not to include that in the tweet because it would make the tweet boring. I do this for a living. Don't keep pointing fucking obvious answers out.
I don't understand why you don't just troll people. Just be like, Dan Marino was overrated, and then just watch people fucking shit their brains
Wait,
out.
I didn't get to the part of why I included this email. He included a PS that said, does Gregg know he got a tattoo on the gay arm? His tattoo on the gay arm. Which is like, I never heard of this. Is there? And I Googled it. There's nothing that I could.
Googled it?
I just decided to check. I was like, what's the gay arm? So
you don't think the tattoo artist would have told you that it was going to be on the gay arm?
So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing them both this time.
Holy shit. Aaron, are we allowed to show guns like this?
I mean, it's no law against it.
It's a little better than it used to be. We got the Brothers Don't Shake Hands one with Anthony, but then we got the Rhino. We got Riney.
Greg gets a trainer for 2 weeks and he's like fucking ripping his shirt off.
But what does that even mean? Does he know he got his tattoo on the gay arm? What is that?
He's mixed up. Okay, both arms are gay. If you have tattoos on your arms, that both arms are gay. The legs are where you want to get your tattoos to let people know you like the opposite sex. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the internet has everything. I Googled it. There's no such thing as.
It's like, you got tattoos on your arms. Hope you're happy with your alternate lifestyle. You got to get them on your legs.
Well, I suddenly was like, is that a thing that like if you're gay, you just go all left arm or all right arm? But no, that's not a thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Remember when the earring was like, the earring is, but is that true? Because I've seen like Michael Jordan has an earring in each ear. Is that? I don't think anything.
Each ear doesn't count.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you just get one and it's in the right, then
that's ridiculous.
I don't believe that.
I don't think that's a
No,
thing.
that's
I think that's honestly that's hurtful, Anthony.
I think that's hereditary. The earring in the right ear. but tattoos in your arms, gay.
All right, our next question is from
Michael Jordan also had a Hitler mustache for a while.
Yeah,
It's true.
True. Our next question is from BG. Don't know if it's the Cash Money rapper who popularized the phrase bling bling, but I hope it is.
Chances are.
My wife and I are expecting a baby boy in 2 weeks. We're considering the name Ellis for him. Does Gregory Anthony think it's a weird name for a boy? I worry about the chance he has a mild speech impediment. I did. That could make it hard for him to pronounce his name, i.e. Ewis, Elish, etc. No rush, but my second-born's name depends on your response.
Listen, Gregg has talked in the past about how he wishes that he almost regretted not saving the name Ellis for his son.
I did not say that.
You love the name Ellis. You
Yes.
love it for your daughter. It's perfect for Ellis. I cannot imagine her by another name. But you just like the name so much that it would have been a great boy's name too. That's all I'm telling this guy is that it's a great name, guy or girl. I wouldn't worry about the speech impediment thing. You can't possibly predict that. And if he can't say Ellis, well, make it like Eli. Like, you can just change it on the fly. Ellis is a great name. Mm-hmm. It's a great name for a son or a daughter. I say go for it. I mean, it's based on Ellis Burks.
Yes, it's based on a Red Sox player, Ellis Burks. I always wanted it. I always just loved the name. And then Emika was like, well, when we found out it was a girl, she's like, why don't we still stick with Ellis? It's an important decision. It's a sneaky, one of the biggest decisions of your life is what to name your kid. I feel like it's almost underplayed because you want to make yourself happy. You're going to say that name hundreds, thousands of times in your life. Like every time I say Ellis, I'm happy. Like just because I like that name so much. And yeah, I didn't want to risk waiting until the second kid. You never know if you're going to have a second kid. Who knows what's going to happen? I love that name. But put a lot of time in, make sure you love it. Don't compromise. Don't do anything. Because like that gives me a little boost of serotonin every time I say Ellis. It's definitely not a weird name for a boy, though, because there's more boy Ellises than girls. Mm-hmm. I was worried it was maybe not a weird name, but just an uncommon name for a girl. And I don't see any Ellises out there. So it's not one of those that has caught on. I don't think we've ever run into an Ellis other than Ellis, because she's the original Ellis. Our next...
Aaron, what's your daughter's name?
Ruby.
Don't you just love... I hope you're happy with your Ruby's name.
Absolutely love
Is
it.
Ruby short for something?
Nope.
Okay. I'm into it.
We thought
Good
we would
name.
actually not change, but we would call her Ellie a lot. I think even when she was born, we sort of like put like in and then after a few months, we're like, we're not calling her Ellie.
She's an Ellis.
She's an Ellis, number one, and Ellis is just a badass name.
Well,
there's Ellies all over the place.
I mean, I shortened it. So if I see her, I go, "Hey, what's up, ELS?" And we have a good laugh.
Our last emails from Kevin. In your much discussed dogs versus kids debate, wanted to see if you had any anecdotes of terrible times traveling with a dog, Anthony, or with kids, for me, or both for Aaron. I recently traveled to visit my brother, was traveling with one toddler, one dog, while he traveled with two toddlers. My brother argued he had the more horrible experience, while I argued it was much harder to travel with both a dog and a kid as opposed to two kids. Kids have the same strengths and weaknesses, whereas traveling with a dog and a kid only gives the combined weaknesses of both and none of their strengths. Looks forward to seeing you in DC.
Okay, listen, I'm on record saying one dog is worth 2.5 kids, both in terms of like how much you can love them and in terms of how difficult they are to handle. I did say that, I will say traveling with two toddlers versus one toddler and one dog on a leash, the two toddlers is way harder. Yeah. Because if you have a dog on a leash and a toddler, the dog polices the toddler. Toddler tries to run away a little bit, dog gives him a little nip. Gives him a little bite, keeps him around, herds him, keeps him close to you. You got two toddlers, they're just trying to get away from you. More than one kid is undoable. Aaron, how many kids do you have?
One.
You know why? Because
Undoable.
two would be undoable.
That's our reason, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, you have traveled, Aaron, with one dog and one kid? Do you have any...
Only via car.
Oh, okay.
Never flown, yeah.
That counts.
Have you flown with both? You've flown both kids like to Japan. Have you flown like?
All the time. What are you talking about?
But usually Emeka does that, and then you like meet them.
No, I do it. I mean, I'm not by myself with them, but we've flown around the four
and they're
of
not
us.
toddlers anymore. They're older.
They're
easier.
older. This is a typical answer from someone who doesn't have two kids. There's a big gap. Aaron's got a lot to learn. Maybe he will learn that. Maybe he won't want to.
We just said 2 kids are harder.
Okay.
We're on your side. Both 100%. Aaron, right? Yeah, we're both 100% on your side.
Well, you're on the side because you said the
kid.
dog eats the kid or nips the kid.
The dog helps you with the kid. If you have 2 toddlers, they're working against you. They're teaming up to make your life hell. If you have a dog and a kid, dog's on your side going after the kid.
First, it's funny that Kevin and his brother are just arguing over who's more miserable. So that doesn't sound great. But Kevin, I think you're making a mistake, which a lot of people with one kid makes, and just like the kids have the same strengths and weaknesses, but the dogs, their weaknesses, that's different. It's like, no, every kid is different. 2 kids can be completely different experience. They could be absolutely nothing like each other, and raising them is nothing like each other. So they're not the same strengths and weaknesses.
Aaron, did you know that the kids are different from each other?
Yeah.
I thought they were all the same and that all dogs are different from each other, but I guess I have that wrong.
If I had just had Ellis back to back to back, it would have been like barely having kids.
If you had Ellis and then gotten a dog a couple years later instead of a son, you would honestly not have to stop at home ever. The dog would raise Ellis. People get a dog. People have a kid because they got a dog and they want something for the puppy to do, and they can raise the kid. If you get 2 kids and 1 dog, you don't even have to travel. You just get 2 leashes, hand them to the kid, whisper to the dogs where you want them to end up, and then they're gone.
Wait, we haven't gotten into this. Aaron, were you saying that you're it? That's it with 1 kid? I don't know if this is too personal for you.
Yeah, we're done.
You're done.
Aaron, wait, you were saying you had the surgery so that you can't ejaculate sperm anymore? Even though your wife wants another kid?
I have not.
And then
But I
you
would.
lied to her about the surgery so that she thinks that every time that you guys have sex that you could possibly have a kid, but you can't? I don't want to get too personal.
If
But
that's
is that
exciting for her, sure.
I don't want to get too personal, but like, have you heard like there's some sort of Chris Rock bit? I'll mangle it, but it's like having 1 kid is not like having kids. It's like having a pet.
No.
That you need to have
the
2.
Chris Rock bit?
Once from a long time ago, but yeah, I believe so. It's like that's not really kids. That's just like it's like having a pet. But if you have a pet and a kid, then that's like having 3.5 kids.
It's like Ray Romano says when you have 2 2-year-old twins, it's like a 2-year-old with another 2-year-old trying to dare him to do other stuff. It's like it's like Louis Anderson used to say, cats don't care. Cats are assholes. Dogs are dumb, they'll do whatever you want. Cats are jerks. Louis Anderson. Rest in peace, King.
I have played the Romano twins in softball and beat them every time.
What?
Really?
They grew up?
Yeah,
I thought they stayed 2 forever.
No, they're like 30.
No.
Yeah.
And they call themselves the Romano twins?
That's what I called them.
And now it's time for, that was
Yep.
Email Corner.
Totally was.
Emails thing.
And that was Email Corner. Diamonds around the world unite. Diamonds around the world unite.
When I do my dances on the YouTube, and if you're not watching the YouTube, you should be watching the YouTube. Otherwise, you're just listening. If you're not watching on the YouTube, Aaron, you're doing what?
Just listen.
You're just listening. Like a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, that is most of our listeners still.
Like you're some blind, dumb son of a bitch who doesn't know about the YouTube. You can see us. You can see me dancing. And the dances, guys, my back's not great. I'm doing some twists. I'm doing some things that put me in danger, but I don't care. I'm like Johnny fucking Knoxville over here, giving it my all for the podcast. Watch on YouTube and listen to it. If you start the audio and the video at the same time, it syncs up perfectly. Let's get to headlines.
Shit. Where is that thing?
Wow.
All right, there we go.
Aaron.
Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines.
You know, I like the headline song, but Aaron going shit, 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 shit was also pretty good.
I know, he's always
Those are
so
pretty
good.
good.
like, and cool whenever you throw anything at him, and then suddenly it was like, shit. What did that remind me of? Oh, fuck, shit.
I got so engrossed in Anthony's passion for his dances.
It reminds me of MacGruber.
Yes,
blows up
that's
the
what I
truck.
was talking about.
Yeah.
Shit, fuck.
Tug.
In Aaron's defense, we are dropping ad copy at a different spot than normal. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about a Florida mom. Where else are we going to talk about moms from? She's accused of helping her son coordinate a fatal shooting of a Home Depot employee, according to cops, after her son told the mom about his plans to kill this girl, this 18-year-old woman. The mom told him exactly where he could find the victim, and texted him, quote, "Do whatever you want to do. It don't affect me either fucking way."
It's a bad mom. It's a bad mom.
It's a pretty bad mom.
It's a bad mom. So this shooting, did the guy work there too, or he was like, was he fired and then came back to kill someone, or he was in love with this girl? She was like, "No, I don't love you. I love Home Depot," and he went and shot her.
It's a little confusing. That was his girlfriend, or was his girlfriend. They had a relationship. He was 20 and she was 18, or vice versa. I actually think he was 18 and she was 20. For some reason, his mom, knew all about Home Depot, knew where she was going to be, must have had a relationship with this girl too, where she kept in touch, where she knows him, because she texted to him where the girl would be. She would be like, at this time, she will be on the store floor. You won't have to go searching for her in the back. At that point, the son had already said, "I'm going to go kill her." And she said, "This is where she'll be." And then she said, quote, "As long as you don't shoot me," and gave him the info of the location.
But how much help is that? Like, he was like, "I want to go shoot her, but not if I have to look around Home Depot." Home Depot's huge.
It's daunting.
I'm gonna get lost in there. What if she's in the nursery? Like, this is the mom should have been like, "Hey, don't shoot her."
Yeah, I mean, I think not telling the authorities that alone is illegal.
But here's where she'll be exactly in the Home Depot. It doesn't seem like it's that much. It's not like she got him the gun. She just like didn't stop him. Did he actually kill her, or did he just shoot her?
He killed her.
He killed her. Stuff.
I mean, I don't know why you're defending this mom. I feel like it was a long back and forth. He was just like, "I gotta kill this." I can't imagine any scenario, first of all, where you would get text, "Son, mom, it's a very special relationship. You always want to support him, but I think that needs to stop when you start, committing murder."
Look, if I decide I want to kill Aaron, okay, I'm like,
Right.
I want to kill Aaron. I bought the gun.
Yeah.
I have the plan. I'm gonna kill Aaron.
But he didn't even have the plan. He didn't know where she was.
He's got everything else. Once you have the gun's a big part of the plan if you want to shoot someone.
Sure.
And I'm like, "Greg, I got the gun. I want to shoot Aaron." And you go, "Oh, you do? He's right over there." How much did you really help me? I've done almost all the work. It's like, he's over there.
Yeah,
Home
but if-
Depot's not that big.
Yeah, but who knows where he was in the town? All it takes is her just, tell him don't do it. That would be number one. But then B, tell the cops to save this girl's life.
Yeah, as long as you don't shoot me, strikes me as like mom was in the store.
Right. Mm-hmm. That part of it, she provides the location. She says, "As long as you don't shoot me," that makes sense, Aaron. That makes a lot of sense. You are our JRVP listener of the week.
That's not yours to give. That's not Greg's to give. Don't you play that song. Don't you play
I
it.
just thought it was funny.
Don't you? Yeah.
The JRVP listener.
God damn
The
it.
JRVP listener. The JRVP listener.
I'm just saying, he took those two pieces of information. The mom says, "As long as you don't shoot me," and where she's going to be in the store. And he figured out she's in the store too. I hadn't put that together,
You were
but I
supposed
think
to read
he's
the
right.
article.
I did read the whole article.
Listen, I'm just glad that when I was a kid,
Actually,
my mom
look for a second.
my mom had the foresight to say, "Don't do that, Anthony. Don't shoot her. We all know where she works. Don't do it. Give me the gun." Why do you got to shoot her at work? Wait, is it like a warning to the other Home Depot employees? Wait till she gets off work.
That's where she
They
is.
close Home Depot.
You know where it was too? It was somewhere we've been before, Pensacola.
Yeah. I could have told you that.
For some reason, when I was reading the text from her to him that she said, "As long as you don't shoot me," I sort of mentally put in like LOL at the end, or ha. It just felt like something needed to cut the tension there. That's a pretty tense
winky face emoji.
Right.
Yeah, or like if when you put in "as long as you don't shoot me," it just automatically did confetti.
All right.
And now it's time for
Ad copy.
part 2.
AG1.
AG1.
The best part of coming back from Japan was getting my AG1 back on, my daily habit that helps my nutrition, helps my gut and mood support, helps my energy, helps my skin, helps my hair. Our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day.
Every day.
Anthony drinks it every day.
I got Liz onto it. Now that Liz is on the road permanently with me, I was like, Liz, you got to do it. You got to get on AG1. You're going to feel dumb when you're getting sick, and I'm not. And she listened. For once.
Makes me feel good. It makes me feel unstoppable. Like I'm giving the body everything it wants, everything it needs. And it
makes
gets
you
going
feel like you're
morning.
one of the, some vampires, if they see a cross, they get all freaked out. Some vampires see the cross and they like grab the cross and laugh as it burns. AG1 makes you the vampire that laughs at the cross.
It's just one thing you can do every day that does make you feel better. It also saves you time in terms of finding different vitamins, so it replaces your multivitamin, your probiotic in one simple, drinkable habit. If you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1. Get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. I love the AG1 travel packs. I never have to miss a day. You mix the powder into the ice cold water. You drink it first thing every morning. That's it. Go to drinkag1.com/JRVP. That is drinkag1.com/JRVP. Drinkag1.com/JRVP. Check it out.
Ask yourself, which kind of vampire do you want to be? AG1.
After you have your AG1, you can step into a world of nonstop action at DraftKings Casino. You can play the classics, play blackjack, roulette, slots. You can also enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. New customers right now can get a deposit up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. That's a deposit match. So you sign up, you select the offer, you make your deposit, you start playing from a full suite of games. Your only way to play is on DraftKings Casino. It's on the app. You play online. You do it on your time and your space within your means. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. You can deposit and you withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Casino app now. You can sign up with promo code JRVP. New customers get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. Only on the DraftKings Casino app with promo code JRVP. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Please play responsibly in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. 21 plus. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Only. Void in Ontario. One per opted-in new customer. You have a minimum $5 deposit. Max match $100 in casino credits, which require a one-time playthrough within 7 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions apply.
And that was
Ad copy.
Let's get back to headlines, bro. I like that of all the ads we've ever done, this is the DraftKings one where Greg's like, don't say a fucking word.
I didn't say.
Just let me get us through this.
I just was at the end. I'm a pro reading that super fast.
You nailed it.
A Chicago man who constantly exposes himself and touches himself in full sight of all of his neighbors has apparently found a loophole in the local indecency laws. Despite one woman who lives near him documenting that he exposed himself 68 different times to neighbors. So far has not been arrested because he's inside his own home, his own apartment.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of in the past people getting the cops called on them. It's like they wake up in the middle of the night, they go to the kitchen, get something out of the fridge, and the neighbors call the cops. I'm like, what? I'm in my own place. Like, I'm in my underwear, whatever, you're being puritanical. This, like, what is he doing? Is he pressing it up against the window?
So sometimes he's playing with himself. I didn't realize this till the very end, and for some reason it made me feel differently about the story. I still think this is sexual assault and he should be arrested or indecency or whatever. He's 70 years old, which for some reason was a surprise.
It's too old for that. It's too old for that. Aaron, what are the prime years to do that?
We're talking 20 to 42.
That's right. 20. How old are you, Aaron?
40.
Okay. All right, you got 2 years left.
Yep.
What you want to do, if you got neighbors...
That last year, by the way, was crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, my
41
God. You're trying to get it all in.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to get it all in. But you're between 20 and 42. You got neighbors. You got windows. You want to get naked. You want to press it up against the glass. Press it up against the glass and then make eye contact with your neighbor. And then you press a little more so they can hear the cracking. You don't want to see the cracks. You want to hear a little like, uh-oh, is this window going to break?
What do you mean you hear the cracking? The window cracks?
Yeah, the window's like, it's like...
Why
it's
would the
so
window
much,
crack?
Because it's so much pressure from your junk up against the window that it could shatter any moment, destroying your junk. That's the risk you take if you want to be an artist.
I don't think this guy is an artist.
Is he swinging it around?
So he reportedly is always naked. He plays with himself sometimes, but the key thing to me on top of that was there'd be times he would make eye contact with the women across from him. So what it was is a high rise. I had a hard time picturing this till I realized he was in a high rise on an upper floor in an apartment in Chicago. And so the people like across from him are just like in another high rise, but across the street or right next to it, and they can see it all the time. But this woman said he would try to make eye contact with her, and if she like went to one room, he would like follow her in his room, you know, to another room, into his bedroom or whatever, follow where he's going. And then at one point, he's also held up signs that say, come over.
Okay, but you got to cross, like, you got to go outside and then go up to a different building.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just down the hall. Here's my question. What's the problem? What's your problem? 70-year-old man can't walk around naked in his own home making eye contact with you? Why are you looking at him? Frost the glass.
You can't help it. You can't help it. He's always over there. Like, your eye, if he's playing with himself, it's one thing. If he was just walking around naked, I actually could, I could hear that argument. But if he's wanking it, that's what they call it. That's what the 70 years ago.
Let me tell you something.
If he's trying to make eye contact, that's obviously harassment.
If a 70-year-old man is across the street from me,
He said, "Come over."
is across the street from me, touching himself, I ain't looking at his eyes. I'm looking at his 70-year-old junk and saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm holding up my own sign, saying thank you, saying what room you in, bro? I'll be there. Tell the front desk I'm a-coming.
I don't think you can frost the windows. It's like people that are renting, you know, in a high rise.
You can frost it from the outside. You could just spray something on it.
Yeah, that's not a crazy idea. Actually, we're only, you know, it's only a 2-floor house, but our window kind of looks out onto the street, and we got a frosted window.
This would be a good like Amazon Christmas commercial. Of like this woman, you just see these women like they're getting ready for Christmas. They just keep looking around, and it's the 70-year-old man with his, like touching himself, and it's like, oh, that guy again. And then at the end, they send him like a pair of shorts, and he's like, oh, Christmas.
This woman owns a condo actually, and is considering selling it. She's just afraid of opening her curtains. The second woman who asked not to be identified, and so police have not got involved. It's one of those like WGN investigative reports.
We saw a tweet about this woman,
you know, where people complain, like email us at, you know, the crime fighters or whatever at WGN. So it was a report in Chicago, and the woman said she kept a log over a 10-month span, and he exposed himself a total of 68 times, sometimes multiple times a day. I feel like if you're keeping a log for 10 months, 68 times, that's too much.
Sometimes you got to beat.
You got to stop You gotta, at some point, it's kind of like Twitter. You just got to close the computer.
Yeah, someone's got to get punched in the face. If someone's masturbating in your window every day to make an eye contact, send the guy over and punch him in the face, and he'll stop doing that. That's a punch. That's a 70-year-old punch. I'm okay with that.
They knocked on his window or on his door, the news team or whatever, and they were like, "Haven't they told you to tell you stop? That it's not okay? That it's enough?" And he was like, "Yeah, but that was last year."
He's 70. He's earned it. He's earned it. Let him do it. It's okay. Keep your curtains closed. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes. Shit.
What is happening?
What is happening, bro?
This is Aaron's.
Aaron used all his competency.
Last headline.
I love this last story. It's about a United Airlines pilot who was sick and tired of getting stuck in the employee parking lot behind a gate that just was annoying for people to get in and out of, and was subsequently caught on video breaking out an axe in the middle of the parking lot and swinging on the gate 23 times with his axe. He was then wrestled to the ground by security.
Why is security wrestling him to the ground? I saw the beginning of the clip where he starts hitting it with the axe.
Yeah.
I'm sure he thought it would go right through.
Yeah.
I don't think he thought he was going to have to hit it 23 times.
No.
It was like it was getting stuck or it was breaking down. What was happening that it was so frustrating? Was it like the card wasn't working or the gate itself wouldn't rise up?
It sounded like the gate itself had its own issues, but also people would be in that parking lot and they wouldn't know how to get out either, and there would just be like a line of 3 people, and like the people that are there every single day know how to get out, but maybe people that are coming from other cities but they had a car in that lot, like it would just get stuck, and they would always just get stuck there in that line, and he had enough, and he took out the axe. I
had a parking garage situation with my old chiropractor where you had to like turn the card like a different way. Like the stripe had to be facing a certain way, and anyone who went there regularly knew how to do it. First timers always had to have a security person come out and show them. It drove people crazy. But you're in a car.
Yeah.
Drive through the fucking thing. If it's so bad.
Well, that's a good
if you're
point.
behind, if you're really losing your mind to get out, he put the axe in his car.
Well, he was the
for
third
this.
car back. So he had 2 cars in front of him. That's part of the frustration is he's waiting. We actually are looking here at one photo of him swinging it. It's just funny because I was shocked to learn he was 63 because he's trim. He looks pretty young. He's in shape. He's a pilot. He has authorization to like ride the tough jets. I don't know. They explain it. We have another photo, I think, of when he's making contact. I like how hard it was. It's not a big enough axe. Did he just have? He must have brought the axe for this purpose.
100%. He's had it there for weeks, and he's like, one day I'm going to do it. Today's his day.
But how does he not know he's going to get fired for it?
Where was his passion on 9/11? You could have saved so many people on 9/11 if you had had this passion. I think it's weak. Again, I think he should have just driven through it. The axe is performative.
Yeah.
He's been talking it up.
It's a little much.
He talks a big game. Like, did you hear Jerry finally pulled the axe out of his car and hit the thing? And if you're going to hit that thing, you better fucking break it on the... Maybe you get 3.
You better.
You get 3.
It's kind of like the guy who tries to break... The baseball player who tries to break the bat over his knee and he can't get it done the first time.
Yeah.
23 times is ridiculous. And then someone comes over and asks, the security guard like tries to take the axe, and he's like, he won't give him the axe, and then just gets in a wrestling match. He inevitably loses. It's a pretty sad way to go.
It's very sad. Was he fired?
Yes.
What airline was he with?
It was United Airlines. I don't know if it was official because they have a union and stuff, but he's like suspended indefinitely, and they say he's not coming back.
Yeah, you can't come back. You can't be like, hey, had a little problem there, but I'm back, and
how do you think that's going to go?
We're going to get you to Cincinnati right on time. And that was headlines. Now it's time for Recommendation Station.
Okay, so you gave away the secret that we had taped these 2 in one day, and so I'm going to do a book for Recommendation Station that I actually read a little while ago, and I didn't recommend it on the show because it was an Anthony book. It was his #1 book, if I remember correctly, from 2022, The Trees by Percival Everett.
Yep.
That was your number one book, right? And I read it this summer, and it's great. It was worthy of a number, and it makes total sense that it was Anthony's number one book. So I'm all for a double recommendation when we can do it full-throated. It's great because there's a point to it, and yet it's very, very funny. Like, that was the thing. Is it is a very funny book, and it's very hard to make a book about how would you describe it? Basically, trying to catch. Now it's been so long. Like, how would you describe it in a log line?
Civil rights atrocities coming home to roost.
Right. I don't want to give it. I'm trying not to give anything away.
You don't want anything away. Trust me, it's violent.
It's set in
It's hilarious.
Yes.
It's great.
It's set in the South, and there's some revenge for lynchings for what happened in the South
supernatural.
a long time ago. And yet, despite that subject matter and it being very heavy and it handling all that really well, it's really funny, and it's a good quick read too. The Trees by Percival Everett.
Love all of his books that I've read, but The Trees is my favorite. It's amazing. Check it out. My recommendation this week is also a book. I read this a month ago, and I recommended this guy's name is Michael Finkel. I recommended his book about the art thief who went around and was like stealing from museums just for his own personal
consumption. I feel like that's like a buzzy
consumption.
book that's popping up everywhere.
I think that was older. Maybe this is the old one. Because I heard about one and I bought both and I read both. So this is the other one, not the art thief one. This is called The Stranger in the Woods: The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit. This is about this guy who lived for like 30 years outside in the woods, like in a tent in Maine. He just like he left society behind in his like teens or 20s, and just like went and like would live in this like little clearing. People heard about him. He would break into homes and camps to get food and stuff and supplies, but never talk to anyone. And after like 30 some years, they finally like set up traps. Like security got better. And they caught him, and everyone was like, "We don't believe you survived for 30 years. How did you do it? Why did you do it?" And it's trying to get into this guy's head, and how it's fascinating. When I heard about this guy, 5 or 6 years ago when they first caught him, I was fascinated by it. Like what books he read, like what was this guy up to? Because he was kind of a normal dude who just happened to live this extraordinary life. And the book really gets into it. It's called The Stranger in the Woods: The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit, Michael Finkel. Fascinating book. Check it out. Aaron, you got anything this week? Nope. And that was
Choo-choo.
Recommendation Station. Walker, Southern Walker. Get us out of here.
Whoa, Nelly Potato. That's a spicy meatball.